Welcome, everybody. Welcome, 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 welcome to The Tonight Show. You're here. You made it. Well, let's get to some news. Guys, President Biden says that he plans to run for re-election in 2024. Meanwhile, at a rally this weekend, President Trump also hinted at running. It's big news, but all I can think about is Taylor Swift being on the show tonight, so... So you know what that means? It's time for the news, Taylor's version. Here we go. So Biden and Trump are both running for re-election, and they've got major bad blood, which everyone knows all too well. Of course, Trump has quite the reputation. Every other day, he's like, I did something bad. And Biden has to be like, this is why we can't have nice things, which is why this could be the most dramatic election ever. More importantly, they both need running mates. Biden is looking at Kamala like, you belong with me, while Trump is looking at Mike Pence like, we are never, ever getting back together. Pence is actually considering a run of his own, but everyone is like, I forgot that you existed. Long story short, everyone is tired of politics, but hey, you need to calm down, shake it off, and get ready for it, because 'tis the damn season. So, go get your voting card again. Head to the polls. Yeah, that was a stretch, that one. Head to the polls and fill in every blank space. It doesn't matter if you're blue or red or even a lavender haze. You gotta let your voice be heard, both in 2024 and during the midterms in 22. This has been the news, Taylor's version. Card again. Yeah, that was a stretch there. Yeah, that's right. Biden intends to run again. In a recent interview on MSNBC, he was asked about his concerns over his age. Check out the president's response right here.
I think it's a legitimate thing to be concerned about anyone's age, including mine. That's not how I feel. I can't even say the age I'm going to be. I can't even get it out of my mouth.
I've heard of people dancing around their age, but I've never seen someone actually dance around their age. Like... Eventually, a middle school nun stepped in, like, leave room for the Holy Ghost. Leave room for the Holy Ghost. Secret Service didn't know what to do. They were like, should we step in or give them alone time? What's the call here? Some more political news. Over the weekend, former President Trump held a rally in Texas, and I noticed that he had some trouble with the word smuggler. Watch this.
They've deliberately surrendered our border to vicious coyotes and drug smugglers. I mean, these a smuggler.
These drug snugglers, drug smuckers, drug snickerdoodles, He sounds like he took whatever illegal drug is being smuggled across the border. Sounds like a guy trying to do his first Wordle. It's like, smug? Is smug a word? I'm going to try smug anyway. Why not? Let's see. Oh, I'm very smart. Speaking of Trump, the January 6th committee announced that they have subpoenaed the former president. Yep, Trump's already bragging like, I've got the biggest subpoena. I've been saying it for years. Nobody's subpoena is bigger than mine. Yet the committee was like, here's a federal document that you can keep. Yeah. Some big news from overseas today. Britain announced that Rishi Sunak is going to be their new prime minister after Liz Truss lasted only 6 weeks in office. When he showed up to his new office, people were like, you can unpack your things, but I wouldn't hang up anything on the walls. Yeah, on Thursday, after 45 days in office, Liz Truss announced her resignation as prime minister of Britain. Let's take a look back on all the greatest moments of Liz Truss.
Good afternoon.
Well, some sports news. The World Series matchup is set with the Houston Astros taking on the Philadelphia Phillies. And, of course, the fans from Philadelphia are super pumped. Check out this video.
Let's go! I'm feeling great! 4 more Tupper! Come on, Mike! 4 more! World Series, baby!
We got married on Friday and the Phillies won!
This is the best part of the weekend by far!
By
far.
By far.
God.
A lot of people have videos of the moment they got married, but very few have a video of the moment their marriage fell apart. You know what I'm saying? Finally, scientists in Japan have gotten closer to finding a cure for baldness after they were able to grow hair follicles in a lab. Well, they actually grew them just outside the lab, then they combed them over into the lab. Some fun holiday news. Mariah Carey just announced that this December, she's playing a Christmas show at Madison Square Garden. Mariah Carey Christmas show in New York City. When they heard that, the Rockettes were like, stay in your lane, girl! Stay in your lane!
Wow.
So if you want to hear All I Want for Christmas Is You can either go to the concert or any CVS from now until January. There you go. Some other New York news. Yesterday, Senator Ted Cruz was on The View, and he got heckled and cursed at by some people in the audience. Don't worry, after a few minutes, security was able to remove Joy and Whoopi from the set. And so then... Some of the hecklers were climate activists. The rest were a group of moms who were mad that Ted Cruz was the guest they were seeing on The View. They're like, come on! Some news from Washington today. President Biden got the updated COVID booster shot and encouraged Americans to do the same. That's right, a 79-year-old getting a shot on TV. You know how excited everyone was for Taylor Swift's album to drop? This wasn't like that. Yet this was Biden's 5th COVID shot. Most Americans are like, I'm just going to wait till they all come out and binge them all at once. Well, I saw this today. Bob Woodward released an audiobook of his 20 interviews with former President Trump called The Trump Tapes. And I didn't know this, but apparently at one point, Woodward asked Trump some rapid-fire questions. Have you heard of this?
Really?
No. Yeah, it's fascinating. Take a listen to this.
Are you ready for some rapid-fire questions, Mr. President?
Hit me.
Favorite TV series not The Apprentice?
Celebrity Apprentice.
Greatest hero?
Meatball.
Bach, Mozart, or Beethoven?
Representative.
Favorite Chuck?
Ty, Norris, and eat cheese.
Guilty pleasure?
All of my pleasures are not guilty.
What do you collect?
Classified documents.
Marry, kill?
Pillsbury Doughboy. Colonel Sanders. Mike Pence.
This is really interesting. Rapid-fire questions.
Wow.
Pillsbury Doughboy.
Wow.
Guys, this is very exciting. We're only 6 days away from Halloween. And I heard that some of this year's most popular costumes are Spider-Man, the Stranger Things kids, and dinosaurs, while the least popular is anti-Semitic guy. And
Come on.
least popular. The least popular costume. Yeah. Everyone is talking about this today. After weeks of public pressure, Adidas finally ended their partnership with Kanye West due to his anti-Semitic remarks. I think we finally answered the question, is there such a thing as bad publicity? Yes, I think there is. Yep, Kanye has now lost his deals with Adidas, Balenciaga, and Manischewitz.
Hey.
And now Gap also announced that they're pulling all Yeezy products from their stores. Meanwhile, TJ Maxx is like, we'll sell whatever you got. You know, we let it rip in this place. Some more business news. The Federal Trade Commission wants to hold the CEO of alcohol delivery service Drizzly accountable for a 2020 data breach. In response, Drizzly released this statement. Whatever Federal Trade Officer you dismissed actually is messed up. I would say that because you're my best friend. Well, get this, I read that Apple is now selling a door lock for your house that you can unlock with an iPhone. Yep, so in case you lose your iPhone, make sure to keep a spare one under the mat. Breaking into someone's home is about to be super easy. Just stand on the porch and yell, Siri, unlock house! Well, a new report says that since the pandemic, people have gotten worse at interacting with each other. I don't think that's true. Do you agree with that, Tree? Good. Off to a bad start. Higgins, how you been?
Thanks, you too.
All right, 0 for 2. One last try. Let's go with Mike, camera guy. How are you doing?
I'm well, Jimmy. Thanks for asking.
Oh, there you go. Finally, a normal response. Well, this is wild. Due to a broken elevator, 5 tourists were stuck in the Grand Canyon Hotel for over a day, 200 feet underground. Yep, the only person in a deeper hole is Kanye West. today, President Biden held a meeting at the White House with Israeli President Isaac Herzog. Biden and Israel's president spent hours together. They discussed Iran, Russia, and all of their favorite tracks off the new Taylor Swift album, Lavender Haze. Meanwhile, earlier today, President Biden also announced a plan to cut hidden bank and credit card fees in an effort to give families more breathing room. Yeah. Good. More breathing room. Interesting. Yeah, breathing room sounds like Biden's launching his own line of Skims. To be honest, I don't know if Biden is the best person to talk about giving people breathing room, but I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. Biden also said that he's looking to get rid of added fees on cable bills. That's great news. That's great news. Great news for the 3 people who still have cable. It's amazing news. Some more news. Russia just notified the U.S. that they would be launching nuclear-capable missiles as part of their annual nuclear exercise. Russia's just like us. They also exercise only once a year. It's great. But the U.S. is keeping a close eye on Russia. Yesterday, Biden said that it would be a serious, serious mistake for Russia to use nuclear weapons. Wow. I haven't heard words that powerful since FDR called Japan's attack on Pearl Harbor a major no-no. That's right, Biden said that if Russia uses nuclear weapons, they would be making a, quote, serious, serious mistake. Yeah, and he didn't stop there. Next, he said, for realsies, you better not.
Wow.
No, he went on.
Oh.
For realsies.
Yeah.
He went on to say, but if you want to really be real, I'm actually on Be Real. Just search POTUS and check it out. And finally he said, but seriously, no cap, fam. This behavior is making me salty. Don't at me. What does he talk? I don't know what he's doing. Guys, I want to say happy birthday to Hillary Clinton, who turned 75 today. Hillary Clinton. Of course, Hillary got a lot of texts for her birthday, and we actually got a hold of some of them. Yeah, for instance, Ron DeSantis texted, I'm throwing you a surprise party where you get on a plane, I drop you off somewhere. That's a surprise. Next, Vladimir Putin texted, happy birthday. Now smile at the microwave clock and wave to me. Then Adidas texted, HBD, we got you 70,000 pairs of free Yeezys. We're giving them away, free. Next up, Donald Trump texted, happy birthday to literally the only 75-year-old woman I've ever known. Bernie Sanders texted, Siri, text Hillary happy birthday and one of those yellow smiley faces wearing a triangular party cap. Send. Next up, Bill Clinton texted, happy birthday, hope you've been doing well. That's nice. And finally, Joe Biden texted, Siri, text Bernie Sanders, how do I send a text to Hillary and one of those yellow smiley faces with wide eyes? Send! Nice of everyone to reach out, don't you think? That's right, today is Hillary Clinton's 75th birthday. But I looked it up, and it turns out October 26th is a lot of people's birthday, so it's only fair that I wish them all a happy birthday. This should only take a second. Feel free to sing along if you want. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Hillary Clinton. And Keith Urban. And Seth MacFarlane. And Pat Sajak. And John Heder, a.k.a. Napoleon Dynamite. And Rita Wilson. And Dylan McDermott. And Jacqueline Smith. And Bootsy Collins, and Schoolboy Q, and my childhood babysitter, Tiffany O'Brien, and professional wrestler, CM Punk, and former Kenyan President Uhuru Kenyatta. I can't do everybody. Happy birthday to you.
Well, you forgot to mention that today is my birthday, Jimmy.
Well, we had a lot of jokes to tell. Guys, some business Some business news. Today, TJ Maxx announced that they were cutting ties with Kanye West and no longer selling any of his Yeezy merchandise. And I personally think I had a small part in that. Here's a joke that we did from the monologue last night. This is real. And now Gap also announced that they're pulling all Yeezy products from their stores. Meanwhile, TJ Maxx is like, we'll sell whatever you got. You know, we let it rip in this place. So, thank you for watching, TJ Maxx. We love you guys.
Max and Easter.
Yeah. Get this, everyone. Snoop Dogg's professional blunt roller just revealed that Snoop smokes up to 150 blunts a day. You know, I'm worried because if this keeps up, he might form a habit. Guys, I heard about a documentary about Ed Sheeran in the works. I love Ed Sheeran. That sounds cool, but I'm not sure the producers really did their research. Take a look at the promo they released.
We're excited to announce a documentary about one of the world's biggest music stars, Ed Sheeran. We'll dive into Ed Sheeran's life, his dedication to music, his hobbies and interests, and we'll look at never-before-seen photos of the legendary musician at home and on the road. The Ed Sheeran documentary. Don't miss it.
You see what I mean? I feel like they didn't do the homework. Hey, I saw that the new horror series, The Watcher, is the #1 show on Netflix for the second week in a row. It's over 270 million hours viewed since its release. Yeah.
Wait, did you say The Watcher?
Yeah. Why?
Well, that's what the guy who wrote us that letter called himself.
What letter?
This one.
Dearest neighbor at Studio 6B, allow me to welcome you to the building. I've been put in charge of watching you. This message will not be the last. Your studio is my obsession, and now you are too. Who am I? I am the Watcher. I will never stop watching. That's so nice of you.
Thanks, Jimmy. I'm a really big fan.
Oh, nice to see you. Watch it. Who watches the show?
That's The Watcher.
Here you go.
Thank you. Yeah, throw the letter back.
No problem.
Oh, got it.
Well, this is going viral. An antique furniture gallery showed off a rare 19th century Italian desk. This is real, an Italian desk, and it's got a lot of storage space. Look at this thing.
First we have here is you press a button and the writing slope comes out. Then on the sides, you press one of the buttons and a secret drawer comes out. You press another button on the inside and secret drawers come out on the end. Press a button on the side, the lion heads come out. And then you press a button further here and 2 more drawers come out. Another drawer at the top. Press a button, more drawers, and then you press another button and another one. And here's the centerpiece for this one, where you open it up, the drawers come out. Of course, these are secret.
I'm sorry. That's when you know you got a weed problem. You know what I'm saying? Update on this story. Snoop Dogg just moved to Italy.
Are you serious?
Yeah. The desk also comes with a placard that says, shadiest MFer of all time. Well, there's a lot of bad things going on in the news right now, but it looks like they solved at least one pressing issue. Watch this.
Well, you've heard about horseshoes, but what about horse sneakers? A new company called Horse Kicks is now selling high-end sneakers made just for horses. You'll find lots of the major brands like New Balance and Nike Air Jordans. You can even get your horse sneakers to match your own.
They have horse sneakers from Nike, New Balance, and even those gross toe shoes that everyone's embarrassed to wear in public. They don't wear them in public, only at home. And finally, Costco is selling the world's largest jigsaw puzzle. It's 29 feet long, 8 feet tall, and 60,000 pieces. Yep, the bottom left corner goes on your coffee table. The bottom right goes in Zimbabwe. And a helpful hint, here's what I did. Start by taking 7 or 8 days to find the corner pieces. Kanye West is in the news. After losing his deal with Adidas, Kanye showed up unannounced yesterday at Skechers headquarters and was escorted out. That's too bad, because if there's one company that could help him shape up, it's Skechers. You know, you think... Yeah, when Kanye showed up, the CEO said, call security, and his assistant was like, this is Skechers, we don't have security. I feel like pretty soon Kanye's gonna hit up whoever makes those free paper sandals after you get a pedicure. Speaking of stranger things, Elon Musk is in the news. Elon Musk is close to buying Twitter, and yesterday he walked into their headquarters carrying a sink just so that he could tweet. This is real. Entering Twitter HQ, let that sink in. Yeah, that pun cost him $44 billion. Worth it? I think so. Switching gears. After finishing their annual nuclear exercises today, Vladimir Putin said that Russia would not use nuclear weapons in Ukraine. People are like, okay, but what about the other countries? Guys, of course, it's election season, and there's a weird story from Pennsylvania. Apparently, a Democrat named Mike Doyle is retiring from Congress, and the Republican candidate to replace him is actually named Mike Doyle. Well, the outgoing Democrat, Mike Doyle, doesn't want the Republican Mike Doyle to win his seat, so he just released this ad. Take a look.
I'm Mike Doyle, and I approve this message. Mike Doyle says he'll take care of Pennsylvania voters, but can we really trust someone like Mike Doyle? Hi, I'm Mike Doyle, and I'm a name you can trust, unlike Mike Doyle. So listen to me, Mike Doyle, and stay the hell away from Mike Doyle. On Election Day, don't vote for this man, Mike Doyle. No, wait, that's me. Avoid this guy. Wait, is that me or him? I don't even know anymore.
This has been a message from the Mike Doyle Against Mike Doyle PAC.
This is unbelievable. Mike Doyle, Mike Doyle. Well, get this, guys. I heard that Pfizer is being investigated for allegedly hiding more than $1 billion in profit by transferring money to other countries. Yep, not good. Well, in response, Pfizer went ahead and released this statement. They said, Pfizer is guilty of these charges and will oppose them in court. Until then, safe, and forever to get vaccinated. Not Moderna, for Pfizer first. Fight me. It sounds serious.
Wow.
Fight me. Sorry. Well, some entertainment news. Henry Cavill says that in his next performance as Superman, he'll be playing a, quote, enormously joyful Superman. Enormously joyful Superman. We actually have an early clip of enormously joyful Superman. Take a look at this.
I know you're trying to find out where I hang my cape. You won't.
Looks good. I can't wait.
I can't wait to see it.
Yeah. I saw a new report that says that people should not rake all the leaves out of their yard because it's actually better for your lawn's health. So I think with that in mind, it's time to say goodbye to my rake. Rake, are you there?
A lifetime of autumns together, and this is how I found out I'm fired.
Come on, Rake, don't think of it as fired. Think of it as retiring. You can now do anything you want.
Man, I want to rake leaves. Fall is my whole personality.
Look, your future is what you make it. We'll see you in the spring when it's time to clear the flower beds.
You're right, Jimmy. Hey, we had some good times, though. Remember high school? I used to hang out with you and your friends, watching you guys play hoops, hoping you take a rake break. Who was that guy that used to pour out half his Gatorade, then fill the empty half with Yoo-Hoo and call it Gator-Hoo? Ed Zipperton, man, that guy was cool.
This has been another edition of Making James Read Lines He's Never Seen Before.
I miss that, Rick. Guys, listen to this. A new study found that in the U.S., deli meat is linked to more than 90% of all listeria cases. Right now, the CEO of Blimpie is like, well, that's what you get for using real meat. Guys, this is very interesting. A new survey found that you can have the best chance of surviving a zombie apocalypse in Florida. I wonder why that is.
Because even zombies are too afraid to visit Florida.
You know what? No. You know what? No. I'm tired of all the Florida slander. We always make fun of Florida, but I'm putting my foot down. It's a great state full of great people.
Listen to this next story. A Florida man is accused of spiking his co-worker's drink with bleach.
See? Florida is scary, dude.
Oh, come on, I'm sure he had a perfectly good reason.
He confessed to deputies, saying he wanted to get back at his co-worker for, quote, being difficult.
Being difficult?
That's just one guy. It's a random workplace incident. Not everyone in Florida is chasing people around trying to hurt them.
A Florida man is accused of chasing two people with knives.
You're done. You're done, man. Case closed.
I mean, it was just only a knife. So.
They say he didn't stop with the knives. He also grabbed an axe.
I'm telling you, man, Florida is scary.
That's a fluke. I mean, between a few people. It's not like he was knocking on doors in the wee hours of the morning while wielding a machete.
A man in a South Florida neighborhood knocking on doors in the wee hours of the morning while wielding a machete.
Come on.
Look, at least they're keeping it within state lines. You know, it's not like they're coming to your house and stealing the food out of your mouth.
3 Florida men were arrested in a multi-million-dollar theft ring of stolen meat across the Midwest.
What's your excuse this time?
Maybe they were giving the food to the needy.
The men were selling the meat on the black market.
All right, forget it. Let's talk about something else. I'm not tired. Finally, Essentia Water has teamed up with a boxed wine company to sell water and wine in one box. Look at this. Yeah. In a related story, they're currently being sued by Jesus. This weekend is Halloween. I was so touched this morning. A kid who lives in my neighborhood put on a fake patchy beard and said he was going as me. And then I read that this is expected to be the biggest Halloween since the pandemic. Yeah. Yeah. That's right. Now that COVID is under control, kids can safely return to eating food from strangers. That's what I'm talking about. People are going all out. I saw that costume spending alone projected to hit a record of $3.6 billion. $3.6 billion. To put that in perspective, that's almost half as much as Kanye lost this week. $3.6 billion. A lot of... Almost half. Thank you. That's right, Halloween is almost here. You probably heard a lot of good advice about how to safely enjoy the holiday, but you have to be on the alert because there's a lot of bad advice out there, too. So here with some terrible Halloween advice is our sound engineer, Steve Mandel. Steve?
Yeah. Only trick or treat at houses with large dogs. If they bite, you could be looking at a pretty sweet lawsuit.
Thank you very much, Steve. Let's get to some news. Everybody's talking about this last night. Elon Musk finally closed his deal to buy Twitter. Yeah, but now he owns SpaceX if he wants to see the heavens, and he owns Twitter if he wants to see hell. It's amazing. The first thing Elon did, this is true, after taking over, was fire a bunch of executives. Yeah, people said he was cleaning house. Then Elon was like, I'm a billionaire. I don't know what those words mean. Meanwhile, Russian and Chinese state media figures already asked Elon to stop identifying their accounts as propaganda. It's always a good sign when Russia and China are like, finally, a guy we can work with. Some more business news. Due to worse than expected earnings, I saw that Amazon is no longer a $1 trillion company. And just from talking to Alexa, you can tell that Amazon is suddenly a little light on cash. I'll show you what I mean. Alexa, what's the weather?
Give me $20 and I'll tell you.
Alexa, I'm not going to give you $20.
How about $10 to bet on FanDuel?
I'm not going to do that. I think it's time for you to go.
Whatever. Check me out on OnlyFans.
Alexa.
Guys, did you see the Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer was caught on a hot mic telling President Biden that Democrats are going downhill in Georgia as Herschel Walker climbs in the polls? Yeah. I'm actually not surprised Herschel Walker is climbing in the polls. He's somehow the most anti- and pro-abortion candidate of all time.
Come on!
Amazing.
That's a good joke.
Never seen anything like it.
Wow.
It's tough for Schumer. You got to try and talk soft enough so the mic doesn't pick you up, but loud enough so Biden can hear. I don't blame him. Why don't we check in with Steve Mandel for some more bad Halloween advice? Steve?
Be careful out there. Sometimes when you think you're buying edibles, they turn out to just be candy.
Well, listen to this. YouTube just announced that doctors and nurses can now apply for their videos to be marked as reliable. Well, if you're still unsure of what to believe, here are some helpful hints to tell whether a YouTube doctor is reliable or not. For example, reliable ends videos with "remember to take care of yourself." Unreliable ends videos with "remember to smash that like and subscribe button, brah." Bruh. Smash it, bruh. You see, here's another example. Reliable on the wall behind them is a medical degree. Unreliable on the wall behind them is a big mouth Billy Bass. Next up, reliable suggests pain meds through your general practitioner. Unreliable suggests getting pain meds from Kurt in the parking lot of the 7-Eleven. Talk to Kurt. Talk to Kurt. Reliable begins a sentence "during my time at Mount Sinai." Unreliable begins a sentence "during my time at Rikers." Here's a final example. Reliable wears scrubs. Unreliable wears a hospital gown open at the front. Because I hope those help. I hope that helps you out. Some sports news tonight was Game 1 of the World Series between the Philadelphia Phillies and the Houston Astros. Man, if Ted Cruz thought he got booed harshly in New York, God help him in Philadelphia. Oh, man. Yet the World Series is kicked off with the Phillies taking on the Astros, and both sides are fired up. There's even some trash talking. Even the mascots are getting in on it. Yep, can we see the mascots? Yeah, it's been pretty heated. First, the Philly Fanatic said, "You look like Oscar the Grouch on bath salts." Then Orbit said, "You look like someone got drunk and tried to draw the Grinch from memory." Then the Philly Fanatic said, "You look like Shrek during No Shave November." Then Orbit said, "You look like me if my face got sucked into a Dyson vacuum." Then the Fanatic said, "You know, you're right, we do look kind of similar." Then Orbit said, "Weird, I just took a DNA test." Then the Fanatic said, "Does it say we're related?" And Orbit said, "No, it says I'm 100% that bitch. You Rocky-loving, cheesesteak-eating bastard."
Uncalled for. Salty.
Let's check in with Steve Mandel for some more bad Halloween advice. Steve?
Don't enter any strange vans, because one of them is my home.
Smoke came out of his mouth and he said,
"Home."
Home, yeah.
Home.
Smoke came out. Finally, new research shows that being around birds can improve your mental health. Oh. Yeah, that's why most relaxing meal of the year is always Thanksgiving dinner. Yeah.
Hey, hey.